How did you find family and friends responded to your diagnosis?
I think it's very hard because people will say to you, fight it, don't worry, fight it, you'll get over it. But they don't know this side. It's very easy. I've done it myself. I mean, I've said to people, when the summer comes, you'll feel better. But you do say the most stupidest things to people. But until you're going through this horrible illness, nobody understands. So they're very kind in what they're saying, don't get me wrong, but they don't understand.
You're flagging up the mental side, the psychological side.
Yes, it's terrible.
Is very important.
Very, very important, yes. And I think, in some respects, it's worse than actually getting over the operation because it's always there. And I mean, now, I go a little bit weepy, even talking about it after all these years. It's always with you.
The thing is, when you're recovering from the operation, most of the time your body does improve steadily.
Oh yes, definitely.
Whereas with the emotional and psychological side, that could be very variable.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody can give you a guarantee that there's going to be no problem in the future.
No,
so it causes a lingering anxiety, doesn't it?
Definitely. I mean, I was saying to Heather earlier on, even Coronation Street, the soap's portraying it. And of course, the one at the moment is pancreatitis, which we had the same treatment as Paul Haley's having, and I was in a flood of tears. After all these years, it still reduces you to tears. It's very, very strong in the mind still. And there are these reminders, aren't there, on the TV news a lot these days? Yeah. When you see those reminders, do you think, that's kind of me, I identify with that? Or do you think, I've put that behind me now and, I've moved on from the cancer? No. Always reminds me, always. Although I feel sad I do react that way because I've been very fortunate that, I'm cured and I've had a good few years since I had the operation, but it still affects me. It still affects me very strong. It was 2006, I think, that you went through most of this. Yes. And it's 2013 now. Yes. Time's moved on, but how much do you think that time factor has been influential in helping your improvement? Doing normal things again, getting back into routine. Oh yes, definitely. It's important. Yes, definitely. You've got to, as soon as I felt well enough, we went on little coach trips, and because we've got a couple of friends that we do it with, and I still got Emily on when we were on one of our coach trips, So you've got to get back into life. You've got to meet yourself. You were trying to actually get back into normal routine? Yeah, definitely. And did you have a routine then, or did you have to remake it? Because sometimes when you've had a setback, some of the things you liked to do previously, you can't get back to that easily. And sometimes you have to think of new things to do. What happened in your case? Well, I think I was quite fortunate, really, because I hadn't really done anything exceptional. I wasn't a sporty person or anything like that. I was just an ordinary housewife, mother, that enjoyed our little trips out all the while. And of course, our shopping trips and things like that. And we gradually ebbed into them and got back to normal because there's no other way. You got to. It's no good sitting there thinking, "Oh, I've had cancer," and all this. You have to really get on with it and make yourself as normal as possible. Was there anything you did during that period that stood out to you as symbolic of the fact that you were improving, if you see what I mean? I think it was the actual going on holiday again. And a holiday, yeah. And managing to get up a few stairs and things like that, because the things that you're really restricted to when you have the operation. So it's a very slow progress, and then all of a sudden one day you think, God, I know I'm never going to be back to normal, but I'm almost there. Yes. So was it almost like you'd forgotten about the cancer for a little while? Oh yes. And then it came back to you, and it was almost like a surprise. You weren't thinking about it. The psychological side is not there all the while. It's only things that trigger it off. Like a dear friend will get it and you think, oh dear, and then you flashback. The same as Hayley on Coronation Street. I thought, oh, it'd be really interesting to watch, but it really did, upset me, and I think, God, I didn't realise, I was still affected by it to that extent. But it's only the momentary, and then, you